Diary. It's the end of September 2020 and you're with me in the secret lair. And the title of this video is How many engineers does it take to change a light bulb? And the answer is 2. But let's get started. Alexa, turn on hall. Part 1 has worked. Alexa, turn on utility. And the fan is on. And on the right hand side you can see the aforementioned newly installed LED light bulb. Okay, so where are we and what are we doing here? So this is the end of our smart home transformation project. The design objectives were to make this a smart home that could be an optional smart home, in that the switches still work. So let's look at the switch. Here's a normal electricity switch for the utility room. It still works. And let's look in the hallway. Down into the hall there is a switch that still physically works. So the design objectives were, if we are taking a home and fully converting it to a smart home, but if the end user, who we don't know yet, is technically savvy, they'll probably be very excited to find out that they can control everything via Alexa voice commands. But if they're a bit of a stick in the mud or need some convincing, initially they can just use physical switches. And today we're looking at the transformation of the utility room, which basically contains a fan here. This is a powered extraction fan, mains powered, and the idea is to take out any moisture that would be generated from this washer dryer. And secondly, there's a light up there, which was, until I converted it, or until we converted it, a bayonet light with a standard old-fashioned bulb in there. So now I think we have to refer to the diagram, which is down here, and I shall attempt an explanation. So what we've got is the wall switch. We've got the IKEA unit, which is here. This is the IKEA power switch unit, which I have disassembled in a previous video. We've now, in generation 2 of my disassembly, have managed to saw it off and not even take the unit out, and convert the unit to a standard smart switch. So that is here. And then we've got the overrun unit for the fan, and then the fan itself. So how does this all work? Well, one thing you should know is that IKEA smart home units, when they have power just applied to them, they come on in the on state. So that's lucky for us, because if the user doesn't want to use any of the IKEA smart home, that's the trad-free units that we've installed, they can just use the switches. So in the hallway, for example, there's a motion sensor. Let's look at the hallway. There's a motion sensor on top of the mirror. And there's a power switch. Now normally the power switch is left on, and when the user comes in, the motion is detected and the above LED trad-free lights will switch on and then off in 3 minutes, which isn't programmable, by the way, sadly. Now if the user is a bit of a Luddite, like I say, and they don't want to use any IKEA automation, they could just use the switch. And that works because that controller, that motion sensor, when it receives information from the lights there, will automatically power on. Okay, so let's go back to here, and we've got the IKEA switch. We've got the overrun unit. So what is an overrun unit? Well, the fan, the mains powered fan, extractor fan here, has a live, a neutral and an earth. But the idea is, when you switch the power off from the switch here, the idea is to keep the fan running for a little bit of time. So there's an overrun unit here which has actually got 4 connections. It's got switched live, which would normally come from the wall switch. It's got a separate constant live, I've just written it that as L for live, and a neutral, well, and obviously an earth. And so what happens is that when the power switch switches off, the overrun unit still continues to supply live to this fan for a number of minutes. There's a potentiometer here which you can twiddle and that governs the number of minutes that it continues to run on for, and it's called the overrun unit. So how does our solution work? Well, we've got the wall switch, which comes out, it's actually switching two different circuits. It's switching the light circuit and it's switching the fan circuit. So now the light switch goes up and switches on this trad-free light. So don't forget, in the normal IKEA smart switch arrangement, this light switch is always on. And so the lights are switched from Alexa, turn on utility. Alexa, turn on utility. So the lights are switched on from a computer generated signal and not a physical switch. So this light is switched on through the Alexa app, because the IKEA system talks to Alexa, and when we say Alexa turn on utility, utility is a group, and that group includes the light and it includes the fan. Okay? So that's how the light is switched on. And how is the fan switched on? Well, the fan is switched on when I say Alexa turn on utility, because the utility group includes this IKEA switch. And when that switch is powered on, the switched live comes out of there and drives the overrun, and the overrun then switches on this fan. And if I was to switch this IKEA switch off, it would still continue to keep the fan going based on the overrun setting. So the other thing you need to know is I have a motion detection unit, which I'll show you here, and that motion detection unit is in a hierarchy. So we have a motion detection unit, and that's in the hierarchy, where each controls the switch and the lamp. Okay. So when this guy detects motion, then it will automatically switch this switch on and this lamp on. So the idea is that this is going to be placed in this utility room, say on this shelf. So it's on this shelf. And when the user opens the door, the motion will be detected here, the light switch will be left on, and hence the lights will come on and the fan will come on. So I think we're just about done. We've got a decent system whereby the user can use physical light switch if they really hate smart home switching, or I hope they'll be converted and understand there's a convenience factor. So when they open this door, motion is detected, the light is switched on, the fan is switched on, it continues until the overrun switches off the fan, and the motion detector here switches off the light. Okay, I hope that's clear, everyone. Here's the diagram again, just fix on that for a second. And thanks for watching. Speak to you again soon. Bye.